Definitely. That's cool. Let me look for something real quick. Oh yeah. Let's see. There we go. What up, salute, Mr. Miyagi in the building. I see you. What's good? Yeah, man, about to get out and about. Man, I had a great. There's so many crazy stories that you could tell, right? When you come out here. Um, Just Max, salute. What's good? What's good? You already know. So look, check this out. All right, my guy Just Mac. We gotta catch another Thailand trip or something. All right, so check this out. I was kicking it with the homies last night, and one thing led to another. I didn't even say bye. I just ended up like this, that, moved down here. A chick rode up on me. She was in like a little SUV, right? Joseph Pondexter, salute. She was in a Barksdale salute. So she was in a little SUV whipping, right? And the motherfucker was nice too. And she was looking decent. She was looking decent. So anyway, I'm like, I had this shit set up with this chick I was gonna hang out with. The homie, I was able to work something out where I was ended up with some loud. Like that nigga got the real shit. I didn't try it, but you know how you can just, pop the thing and oh damn, okay. That's him. That is just gonna take all right, cool. Enough said about that. So I had that set up, so I'm like, yo, woo, we gonna chill. I got it really for her. Um, and all that. And she had been like, yo, whoa. And I kept like, oh, I'm fucking with I'm doing this not later. And so I was ready to go in, right? So when I told her, like, all right, cool, I'm on my way to the hotel, meet me there, and I'll bump into that chick. She rode up in an SUV, right? And having a few jams today. Wait, what does that say? God, shit, that's just small. Jars today? I'm not understanding what he meant by that. Is it true Ice woke up wearing his Willie t-shirt and no drawers on? I don't know because I just stayed the night at this spot. I was at my spot. So, anyway, cool, moving. I get in, because she's like, get inside. I'm like, nah, baby, I don't want to get in. Turn to the window, but then she's like, well, I'm going to pull up. So she's not in the middle of the street. Because we was talking in the middle of the street. It was like a little side type of street. Not even a side street, like a residential neighborhood. It wasn't like a lot of traffic, but traffic's still gonna come through. So I eventually end up getting in the whip, whoop, da. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, I'll tell her, and I show her the message, like, I got something set up already. She's like, fuck her. I want to hang out with you, type shit. So I'm like, all right, well. So then I'm like, so I run down everything that needed to be ran down. And one of those things that I ran down was like I wanted to do some content and videos. So she said, yeah, that's cool, all that, right? So then I started thinking, this is where it started fucking up my thinking. Because, so I'm like, damn, this would be a new chick I could get some content with. This other female I already kicked it with, but she's super vibey. So I've been wanting to kick it with her. So I asked her, can we shoot some content? And she's like, yeah, we can shoot the content. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to kick it with you. And I'm like, damn, old girl going to be pissed. Because I literally just told her to fucking come and all this shit. So I started thinking. I said, this is what I like to do. If they say, yeah, we can shoot some content, well, let's shoot something before we get to my room. so I could see how you acting about the camera and shit. So I put it on. It was cool for a little second, cool, but that didn't last long. And now she's like, oh, mucho video. I'm like, I plan on doing way more filming than this. I told her what I wanted to do, us drinking lit, maybe have some food, having fun, all that. We barely started and you already like, it's a problem with the camera. So then that's when I started feeling like, you take these lessons and you learn. Because I've been in that situation since I've been here where, like, that if they get to the room and now it's like, you whip out the camera and now they tripping and all this. And now you got to get them out the room, all that. So I learned, too, now is like, if they agree to get on camera, we getting on camera before I'm pulling that out before we even get to the room, headed to the room. If you acting all like that, then I'm like, abort mission. Yeah, abort mission, right? And so, that's basically what happened. And so before we got here, I said, well, I need to go to the store because I said I want to go get some beers, like cheap ones. I'm not here to pay max price for everything. So she did drive to the little store, whatever. I bought like 4 beers, 2 for her, 2 for me, and whatever. And so when we get back, you know what I'm saying? That's when she kind of start acting a little funny about the video. When we start actually headed to my room. So then I tell her, like, nah, you said we could shoot content. And she's like, yeah, but you mucho video. And I'm like, what? I just barely pulled this motherfucker out, really. And you, this is the beginning. This ain't nothing. So once she pulled to the back of my shit. She's like, I could pull back here. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, already like, nah, I'm not sure. She's like, no, is everything good? I said, nah. So when I got out, we walking. So her whole goal is just to get to a place where, you locked in. I already know, like, I done dealt with this shit before. I feel like I'm almost, John Madden at this shit. You know what I'm saying? But even on John Madden, you can't throw a few interceptions. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I said, I kick it with you tomorrow. We got bags in hand, everything, shit, whatever. So then she's already like, well, I need gas money. I need this and that. Like, the other side of her is coming out, the demanding side. And I feel like we ain't even, is my life still cool? Because I don't see hopefully my shit ain't froze up. But I'm like, you ain't even on base yet to start making demands. I'm like, shorty. So I said, well, look, check this out. She was like, nah, like, this and that. I just walked off. Like, why am I even debating with you back and forth? I'm not in no vulnerable position. Like, I just spent off. Like, all right, winners know just recognizing and how to move in potential problems. We seen Ice was out here say he had a problem. And so you got to look at, like, the small details. Like, you have to, you got to have things in place that you try that are proven to work or get